Hello, Kentucky friends. Last season, there were two glaring problems for the Kentucky basketball team. Will Pope and his staff now solve them? Let's take a closer look. Last season, Kentucky shone offensively. The offense under Mark Pope was elite, fast, creative, and efficient. But at the same time, there were two open wounds that prevented the Wildcats from advancing beyond the Sweet 16: defense and rebounding. These two areas were undoubtedly the points that separated an exciting team from a championship team. Now, the big question is, have Pope and his staff truly managed to heal these flaws? Throughout the offseason, the answer seemed clear, even obsessive. Pope placed defense and rebounding as the absolute pillars of his rebuild. At his media day press conference, the coach spoke enthusiastically about the progress the team has made, especially in controlling the boards. And there's a phrase that sums up the program's new focus well. We've been recording every wedge, every effort, every possession, and every practice all summer. This meticulous approach shows that the issue has been taken seriously. Pope even mentioned that the team has been tracking an internal 100 rebound index, a metric that measures each player's effort and efficiency in contested situations. For him, the key is movement. One of the things that leads to offensive rebounding opportunities is pace, space, and mobility. It's harder to block moving targets, especially when they're moving and their shots are a little unpredictable. It's a mindset that unites philosophy and execution, turning offensive speed into a weapon to dominate rebounds as well. But will this translate to games? Pope acknowledges that this is the next step. The focus has been exemplary from both the players and the coaching staff, but converting practice into results is the real challenge. And that's precisely where this team will be tested. The roster, at least, seems prepared. Jaden Quaintance, Mo Diabate, Trent Noah, and Otega Owa bring size, energy, and instinct. Diabate, in particular, has been vocal about his desire to transform Kentucky into a defensive powerhouse, something he's already demonstrated in practice. Quaintance, on the other hand, offers a rare physique for his age, a player who seems built to dominate rebounds. Still, a question lingers. Can Kentucky be dominant on both ends of the court? Recent history shows that Mark Pope's teams have always been offensively brilliant, but defensively inconsistent. He himself acknowledges this and seems determined to change that reputation. The conversation now is about completeness. It's not enough to be beautiful to watch. It must be troublesome, exhausting, and impossible to break down. If this balance truly materializes, the impact could be devastating for opponents. The Kentucky team that reached the Sweet 16 last tournament did so practically with its offense carrying the piano. Now, with a physically stronger, mentally more committed, and tactically more balanced squad, the Wildcats have the potential to become something more, a team that dictates the game in every dimension. There are signs that the plan is working. There's conviction in the rhetoric. There's competitiveness in practice. But until the ball is in play and the scoreboard starts shaking, the question remains. Has Mark Pope's Kentucky finally learned to win through defense and rebounding? Jaden Quaintance is about to enter one of the most anticipated moments of his career. After a season that, while solid, didn't allow him to fully explore his abilities, the Kentucky center is determined to show the world and the NBA that there's much more to his game than has previously been seen. With a unique combination of mobility, defensive versatility, and untapped passing ability, Quaintance promises to be a central piece in Mark Pope's system during the 2025-26 season. Acclimating to Pope's style of play is something Quaintance cites as a key reason for his decision to return to Lexington for a second time. The Kentucky coach has a history of maximizing the potential of his centers, giving them key roles in both the creation and execution of offense. He definitely kind of plays as centers. They have a lot more control. They're a bigger part of the offense, and they just have a bigger role. Quaintance explained, highlighting the importance of their position in the scheme. This philosophy appears to have been a decisive factor in attracting a player like Quaintance, whose natural talent could flourish even further under this approach. One of the areas in which Quaintance is especially eager to excel is passing. Recognized primarily for his defensive skills and ability to change plays in the paint, he now seeks to expand his repertoire and prove he can be much more than a basket protector. I feel like I have a lot of passing potential that I wasn't able to tap into at all last year, he said, expressing confidence in his improvement. I feel like I'll have more possession and be able to show a lot more than I did last year. This desire to showcase new facets of his game isn't just a personal matter. It's also a crucial opportunity to solidify his position as a lottery pick in the 2026 NBA draft. The ability to create plays and make quick decisions is a highly valued quality in modern centers. And Quaintance knows that fulfilling this role effectively can elevate his status even further. To help him through this transition, the return of Brandon Garrison to the roster has been crucial. Garrison, already a veteran who has thrived in Pope's system, has served as a mentor to Quaintance during preseason training. By closely observing how Garrison operates within the scheme, from his decision-making to his versatility on offense, Quaintance has learned valuable lessons about how to thrive in the role of creator in the paint. He's been a great leader on the court, Quaintance said of Garrison. He's very versatile, with his passing, his downhill runs, his post play to receive shots from outside. He's a very versatile and energetic player. This dynamic between Quaintance and Garrison promises to be a differentiator for the Wildcats this season. Both centers share similar characteristics in terms of mobility and ability to impact both ends of the floor, but each brings unique nuances that can complement the other. While Garrison has already proven his worth as a key player on the team, Quaintance is ready to make a quantum leap, demonstrating that he could be not only a dominant defender, but also an offensive facilitator. Despite returning from injury, Quaintance displays remarkable confidence. He recognizes that this will be a pivotal year in his journey to the next level, and the opportunity to lead Kentucky's offense through a more involved role is something that motivates him daily. His exceptional mobility allows him to be a constant threat on defense, while his vision promises to make him a key facilitator for his teammates. When Quaintance steps onto the court this season, he will carry with him the expectations of fans, analysts, and NBA scouts. But above all, he will be determined to prove something to himself, that his passing ability, a relatively untapped facet thus far, can be as devastating as his defense. With Mark Pope and the support of veterans like Brandon Garrison, Jaden Quaintance has all the tools necessary to become one of the most complete and influential players in college basketball. The 2025-26 season promises to be a perfect stage for Quaintance to shine. And when he finally gets the chance to put his new skills to use, Kentucky basketball could gain a new icon, a game-changing center capable of relentless defense and pinpoint passing that defies the traditional conventions of his position. As Mark Stoops' program strives for stability and consistent performance, injuries have been a constant obstacle along the way. The promise of full health before the season was a shared desire across the program, but reality proved cruel at crucial moments. Despite this, there are encouraging signs as the schedule progresses, with two key players seemingly moving in the right direction to return to the field. DJ Waller Jr., the starting cornerback brought in through the transfer portal after his successful stint at Michigan, has been a painful absence on the Wildcats' defense. Since week 1, when he suffered a hamstring injury during the win over Toledo, his impact has been sorely missed. The Youngstown native arrived at Kentucky with high expectations, especially after contributing to the Wolverines' national title the previous year. His speed, reading of the game, and ability to secure deep catches formed a vital cog in the Wildcat secondary. However, injuries continued to dog Waller, as they had during the previous season, when he missed 5 games due to accumulated injuries. Without him on the field, Kentucky's defense struggled to cover the perimeter, exposing vulnerabilities that opposing teams were able to exploit. Now, with Stoops optimistic about his return, there's hope that Waller can bolster the defense against Texas after the bye week. On offense, the situation is also delicate, but equally promising. Seth McGowan, the starting running back who has become this team's driving force on the ground, is battling a nagging injury that began limiting his performance in the third quarter of the last game. McGowan, who came to Kentucky after stints at Oklahoma and New Mexico State, has been a revelation. With 431 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns so far, he's on pace to surpass the 1,000-yard mark, something not seen by a Kentucky player since the days of Benny Snell Jr.'s ability to find gaps in opposing defenses, combined with his physical strength to gain extra yards, has made him the heart of the Wildcats' offense. However, the unspecified injury that sidelined him for parts of the last game is cause for concern. If McGowan is unable to play or is not at 100%, Kentucky's rushing attack could lose its main weapon. Therefore, Stoops' statement about the return of starters generates both relief and anticipation. The matchup against Texas will be a crucial test for Kentucky, both in terms of performance and resilience. After the bye week, the program hopes to regain not only key players but also the confidence needed to face a high-level opponent. The defense needs Waller to help neutralize fast and efficient passing attacks, while the offense relies on McGowan to impose rhythm and control the clock. The presence of these two starters could be the difference between a frustrating loss and a victory that injects new energy into the team. Mark Stoops, always pragmatic in his statements, expressed caution but also optimism. He knows that having Waller and McGowan healthy is essential to keeping Kentucky competitive in the SEC, a conference known for its depth and intensity. Furthermore, the recovery of these players could serve as a symbol of resilience for the rest of the squad, reinforcing the idea that, even in the face of adversity, the program is determined to fight until the end. As fans eagerly await the next chapter of this season, it's clear that the Wildcats' fate is closely tied to the health of their stars. With Waller and McGowan on the verge of returning, there's reason to believe Kentucky can still surprise in the coming games. Let's see. Comment.